on to the basic technology, what they have used and how they are able to achieve this product. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about the the ESX operating system and how it is helping us to create virtual computers. Okay. So just to quickly show you how it looks like, this is one physical server with ESX operating system on top of it, 0.120 that you see on the screen. If you go to virtual machines tab, these are the virtual computers that we have created. So yesterday image, if you see, so the one physical server with a newly created operating system called ESX OS, right? So this is physical server with ESX OS and helping us to create virtual computers like this. Okay, so virtual machines. So the same way, if you see, the 0.120 is the physical server which we have placed in our lab. Okay, and it is installed with ESX OS. On top of that, we created here for now 5 items. That means 5 virtual computers we have created on top of one physical computer with ESX operating system on it, and we have installed 5 virtual computers. Each one operates as a separate computer. Okay, let's say if you see this virtual machine, okay, you can see its monitor. It's a some it's like another computer. Okay, separate. Only on the screen we can manage. If you want to power up this virtual machine, right click, power off. Okay, so kind of tasks. Fine. Each one is separate virtual computer. On top of 120, like we can see 5 virtual computers. We can create more. We have enough memory and CPU. As of now, only 5 are running. Okay, so fine. So now we'll see how they were able to achieve that, which technology they have utilized in the back end. They have taken a concept called virtualization. We will see what is virtual now. Virtual means actual version of any product. Okay. Something like if I write with a pen on the board, it's a physical hardware. Directly I can write it on the board with a pen on the notebook or a board, whatever it is. Now I'm writing with a cursor, I'm writing on the notepad. If I write something on the board with a pen, if you read it, whatever the knowledge that you gain, the same thing you are gaining now also. I'm writing on the notepad and you look at it and you read the same content and you are gaining the same knowledge. Okay, with the physical notebook and pen are almost now here, it is equivalent to notepad with a cursor. Okay, so you are gaining the same knowledge when you read physical copy or virtual copy, the same way. It's another example is something like if you attend a class directly, if you come to classroom and if you directly sit in front of me and if I'm explaining something and if you listen to it, you are gaining some knowledge. But it is not possible in the current situation. We are attending from remote locations. Okay, the classroom is virtualized now. Instead of physical classroom, we are using a virtual classroom. So I have taken the option of a virtual meeting ID and I have shared that with you. Using that ID, you connected from different locations. Virtually, you are joining this classroom. Okay, that's a classroom is virtualized now with the option the virtual meeting, whatever the meeting ID they have taken. So classroom is virtualized. The same way, another example. Okay, that is the second example. Another one is something like mobile. If you see older companies, the mobile companies have like basic phones and also touch phones. Basic phones, there is a keypad, and if you want to dial a friend, if you want to speak to your friend, you will press the numbers on the keypad. Physically, you are interacting with the buttons there. Physically, you are sending some instruction, okay, by pressing the number. So it is in the back end on the motherboard of this mobile, some instruction is passing and it is dialing that 10 number, okay, the 10 digit number, and you are speaking to your friend. Now the mobile companies have taken the virtualization concept. They have virtualized, they have written their algorithms in such a way that to virtualize the keypad into touch screen. Now if you just tap on the touch screen, the same 10 digit number it is dialed and you are able to speak to your friend. You don't need to physically press the keypad, right? Only just tap on the screen with a simple touch, it will call. The companies have virtualized the keypad into touch screen. That's their business nature. They took the virtualization technology in their business. Whatever they wanted to virtualize, they achieved it. Okay. So in this classroom, I was running physical classroom for some time. Due to this present situation, I was thinking what is the option? Like I got some virtual classroom option. With a meeting ID, I can share with you from anywhere you can attend. Still you are gaining the same knowledge. If you attend physically in front of the within the classroom, or even if from remote location via the meeting night virtual classroom, you are still able to understand what is that, what is a virtual computer, how to power on a computer, how to power off. So you are able to understand, right? Still you are achieving it, right? The same way, the virtualization algorithms are available if you can take the advantage of how to modify those algorithms, and you can create virtual product of any physical product. Okay. Understood what is virtualization? It's basically a technology. We can use the technology, modify the algorithms, and create a virtual product, which is exactly equivalent to any other actual product. Fine. Now these guys, when I said like these guys have formed a company called VMware. These guys wanted to create a virtual computer. If your computer means like physically motherboard, CPU, RAM, hard disk, keyboard, lot of things will be there. Okay. So if you power on a physical computer, it will load Windows operating system and finally you see the desktop and you work with it. It's a physical computer. They wanted to create a virtual computer. However, the different like mobile companies or classrooms, whatever are virtualized the way they need. Here also these guys wanted to create a virtual computer. So they have taken the virtualization algorithms, they modified accordingly. So they improved their algorithms and they have wanted to create a virtual computer out of it. So virtual algorithms. So they have developed some virtual algorithms to create a virtual computer. Okay. And now, because they wanted to develop an operating system which will create virtual computers. Okay. The ESX operating system we were talking, right? They wanted to develop an operating system which will create virtual computers. Operating system has two components. One is the core partition is called kernel. Any operating system, Microsoft or Linux operating system, ESX operating system, Solaris, whatever it is, any operating system will have the core logic, the core component which converts the human level language into machine level language and machine level language into human level language. The core partition is called kernel. If you want to compare with any other example, something like if you wanted to understand this vSphere product, basic is like what is ESX, what is a virtual machine. Okay, if you wanted to understand this technology completely, you need the basics. What is virtual means? Okay, these are the basics, the core the core topics of this technology. Virtual machine, vCenter, ESX. These are very basic things. The same way, operating system also has a basic component called kernel. Every operating system, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows Server, Linux, any operating system need a kernel, the core competition, plus some extra info that forms a Linux operating system, that forms a Windows or ESXi, whatever it is. Okay, that extra info we have already, the virtualization algorithms, but we don't have kernel. VMware doesn't have any kernel at that moment. They have taken the virtualization topic and they were improved their algorithms. They created virtualization algorithms to create virtual computer. But these algorithms are not able to complete a OS. దీంతోనే ఒక OS డెవలప్ అవ్వదు. OS కంప్లీట్ కావాలంటే కెర్నల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కూడా కావాలి. It was difficult to develop that kernel at that time for them. ఆ టైంలో వాళ్ళ దగ్గర కెర్నల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ రాసే వాళ్ళు ఎవరు లేరు. What they did, right? They paid some amount, whatever they had in their pocket, they paid some amount to the Red Hat company. They copied Red Hat Enterprise Linux kernel. So Red Hat kernel, they copied. It was already available, right? Kernel, the Linux company, Red Hat company was already available in the market. So they paid some money to them and they copied their Red Hat kernel. Okay, so Red Hat kernel they copied. Okay, and they already had virtualization algorithms to fulfill an operating system. So now Red Hat kernel plus the virtualization algorithms they have developed together, they made an operating system. They named it as Elastic SkyX. Okay, Red Hat kernel plus their own algorithms, they made an operating system, then named it as ESX, Elastic SkyX. Okay, and once you install that ESX operating system on a physical computer, physical server, you install ESX operating system and it will help us to create virtual computers on top of it. That's what we have seen yesterday. Right? These are virtual computers. Virtual machine. Every machine will have their own amount of memory, CPU, hard disk. Every computer, every virtual machine will act as a separate computer and it will have their own operating system and some business applications will be running here. This will be running with Linux and some application will be running here. Every virtual machine is an individual, equivalent to its individual physical server. Okay. Understood, right? So how it works? Any question as of now? Okay. So VMware guys took the concept of virtualization, they improved their algorithms to create virtual computers. But that was not enough. They need a kernel as well. Instead of writing kernel programmings again, they copied Red Hat kernel plus their algorithms together. They made an operating system and it is called ESX, Elastic SkyX. Once you install this ESX operating system on a physical server, so we are able to split the underlying memory, processor and hard disk. We're able to split from these resources to these virtual computers. This ESX operating system will help us to split like that compared to previous any other technologies, operating systems. Fine, understood. And we don't need to worry about like how they have developed these algorithms, what it includes. You don't need to write any algorithms, nothing like that. Okay. They have already developed this product and if you know how to manage it is more than enough. Until now, if you see, our responsibility is to install this ESX OS on the physical server, create a virtual computer, power on this computer, power off this computer. For some reason, if RAM is not enough, how to increase, disk is full, how to increase, this kind of task. And those tasks are GUI. In the sense, with mouse only we manage this interface. Every day we will be working with this interface only. 70% our work will be here on this interface, and it will be completely with mouse, like all these tabs. And if you can understand what are all these tabs, what are all these options are used for, is more than enough. And also these tabs are not different for any object. If you select one object, summary tab, monitor tab, configure tab, sub options, permissions, how to give permission, how to modify permission, how to remove permission, virtual computers, what are all the virtual computers running on it. If I want to power on this computer, right click, power on. So all, like almost everything that we do here is GUI operation. With mouse itself we manage, right? And that's what we are going to learn about next 40 to 50 days. We try to learn what options will come here and when we use in real time, how to use and how to understand the data. Okay. But it is complete. These tabs only will be there. Even if you select any other object, again the same tabs will be there. On one object, if you know what are all the tabs and what are all the options that are available and why and when we use it, is more than enough. The same options will be applicable for all the objects that you see here. Understood? So, and it is completely GUI. With mouse only we do here. We don't need to know any programming knowledge. We don't need to have any scripting or database kind of experience. Okay, with mouse itself we can manage. That's how they have developed. Even though they copied the kernel from Red Hat Linux, they have altered their virtualization algorithms to give us GUI based experience with mouse based experience. Okay, even though it is coming from a Linux background, it is a Linux copy. Linux was everything. You need to type commands. Simply, if you want to copy data from C drive to D drive, also you need to type a command. But here, even though ESX operating system was built on Red Hat kernel, it is the management is GUI only. CLI also possible. Using command line also we can do, but 95% we do from GUI only. For some reason, if it is not working here, rare cases we use commands. But that commands are maximum 5 to 10 commands only. You don't need to worry about those commands. And in the later classes, we'll see how to get help from there only. You don't need to ask even anybody else what is the command to do this task. You can get help yourself. Okay, we'll see those things later. The subject is completely GUI only, GUI based. Fine. That's how they have developed that ESX operating system. But they had to pay for the Red Hat company because they are copying their kernel. And this concept was very huge hit in the market around 2000 to 2003. Okay, people started using this product. Now, once they got so much money by selling this product in the market, and now they are confident to build their own kernel instead of depending on Linux. Now they wanted to develop their own kernel. So they recruited a person who writes the kernel, not one single, like the team of people who writes the programs for kernels. They have hired people to write the kernel programming. They asked them to, I need a kernel. I don't want to use Red Hat kernel. And they have developed their own kernel and they named it as VM kernel. Instead of Red Hat kernel, they developed their own kernel. And they have already their virtualization algorithms to create virtual computers on a GUI based interface. Okay, the same virtualizations, their own proprietary algorithms. They made an operating system and it is named as ESXi, Elastic SkyX Independent. Symbolically, they wanted to represent to the world that they are not dependent on Linux anymore. That's why they named I at the end of ESX. Okay, Elastic SkyX Independent. They are not dependent on Linux anymore. Initially, for 3 to 5 years, around 5 years, they released both flavors, ESX flavor and ESXi flavor. They used to release both flavors in the market because people are habited with ESX operating system and now they wanted to build their own kernel. Now they build their own kernel and they named it as ESXi. Initially, in a day one, if they stop using ESX and if suddenly they give ESXi, they don't want to take that risk, change their growth immediately on a day one. That's why they were releasing both flavors at a time, ESX and ESXi. But the problem is customers got confused. This is one company itself making two operating systems. both does the same job. Something like here, take it here. If you install ESX operating system also, you are able to create virtual computers like this. And if you install ESXi instead of ESX operating system, if you install ESXi OS also, it does the same job. You can create virtual computers here. Then what is the difference? Here also the same way, both are exactly same because from the same company. The programs are same, only the kernel is different. Then where is the difference? In the exams we write like 3-4 differences, right? Here it is, it's not, it's available, it's not available. Like that, we can write here some, it is $5 costlier than this one. $5 doesn't matter for enterprise companies now. Okay. So, and it need more patches, it need less patches, something like that we can write. All are theoretical only. Technically, there were no major changes. Then why two options? It's something like people got confused, like something like you are coming to me and asking, I wanted to enter into IT and I wanted to learn some course related to cloud computing, whatever it is. I'll be giving just two options. One is, let's say, vSphere, and another competitor product is something like Hyper-V. This is also similar technology from Microsoft. Two different technologies, but similar technologies, something like this. And I'll suggest you, vSphere also helps us to create virtual computers. Hyper-V also helps us to create virtual computers. Both are related to cloud computing. Again, you will be confused, right? Again, which one you have to choose? Because I am only delivering both classes. You will be confused. It's a simpler situation like for the customers. Both you are only selling, you are saying these are almost equivalent to same, then which one I have to choose? There is no major difference in terms of licensing also, very minor changes. That's why like.
Maybe performance?
Hmm?
Performance?
No, it was almost same, no performance. Initially they wanted to stay in the market, like that's what I said, like before, the reason was already covered. Like in the day one itself, if they stop this product and they start using this one, they don't know like how the people will react. If there is any loopholes in this product, suddenly if you stop, the competitors may gain that these guys mistakes. That's why they don't want to take that risk. Initially they were releasing two products at a time. After, like once people came to know that ESX and ESXi both are one company, both are doing same job for 3 to 5 years, around 2005, okay, they stopped this product. We will see all the versions and when they stopped it clearly. Now it is available only ESXi, their own product, completely their own product is available in the market. No confusion. And we will see that versions also now, in which when they stopped it. Fine, understood?
So now marketing is running only ESX.
Only ESXi. Present usage is only ESXi. Any questions here? Understood what is virtual, what they have, how these VMware guys have developed these virtual computers now? Any questions?
Purpose of VMware, what is this?
I think 2 days back we have discussed this one. To overcome these drawbacks, the purpose of VMware vSphere product is to overcome these drawbacks in the traditional technologies. Before VMware, people used to face these drawbacks. Okay, if you listen for the second day topic, you will be able to understand. Okay, we used to spend lot of money and waste lot of compute power, memory, CPU power we were wasting. Now with this technology, we can increase our resource utilization. Here, let's say the RAM utilization of this computer was around 30%. When we wanted to grow our company, we used to spend money again and buy one more computer. But now you don't need to do like that. You can increase up to 80% utilization. Okay. Basically, instead of using physical server computers, we use virtual server computers to run companies' business applications. Whatever the product they are developing, pharmaceutical, software, engineering, hotels, whatever it is, whatever their business nature. To run their business applications, instead of using physical computers by spending lot of money, these are the drawbacks. We use virtual computers. We overcome this many drawbacks. We can save the organization's cost by 10:1 range. That's in brief. If you want in more in-depth details how technically it works, listen the second day's, not the second day, first day, the basic session. Okay, the recorded session I'll share, already shared with you. Just listen that one. You will be able to understand better again if you are not able to understand it right now. Is that clear?
Perfect definition for virtualization.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, exact definition for virtualization.
We'll go beyond just 2 more steps we have to go ahead, then we will be able to understand. So I'll give you that definition. So exact in our own words, I will just say like create actual whatever I have already given right here only. This one. Create actual version of any other product. Okay, instead of using physical resources, use virtual resources. In the technical, like bookish definition, if you want, I'll just share that with you. In the documentation, I'll share that. Okay.
Sir,
Any other questions?
sir, what is the main purpose of VMware?
Okay, so reduce a company's investment on the infrastructure. Okay, gain the same profit as they were running in the traditional days. That's the purpose. Reduce number of physical computers they use. Understood? Hello? Fine? Okay. So here, if you see in the data center, basically the servers for any organization, any business, if they want to run their business applications, they need servers, they need storage devices, they need network devices. Okay, so we are into this servers category, and based on virtualization, we create virtual servers. It's called server virtualization. Physical servers are virtualized into virtual servers. Okay, and storage virtualization is also available. This is a different team's task. Different team will handle it. These are the types of virtualizations: storage virtualization, network virtualization. So these 3 things will be handled by 3 different teams. Servers will be handled by a different team. Storage devices will be handled by a different team. Network devices will be handled by a different team. Okay. So all these layers are virtualized now. Once this technology, server virtualization technology, VMware guys have first come into the market and they have developed server virtualization. Instead of using physical server computers, use virtual server computers. Okay, so that you can reduce your investment on your infrastructure and efficiently utilize your hardware to run your production infrastructure. Okay, whatever the business that you belongs to. And once this was like very huge in the market, so the storage companies also followed that storage virtualization. Network products also, they have virtualized and network virtualization. Okay. And if these are like called types of virtualization, it related to is our the technology that we are going to learn. Types of virtualization. Very common interview question. What are the types of virtualization? There are many other things also virtualized, but out of which are very important, 3 types we should know. We are going to learn only about this server virtualization. Next thing we should know, hypervisor. Okay, so hypervisor. Next thing we should know immediately after virtualization is hypervisor. So very common interview question: what is an hypervisor? What are the types of hypervisors and examples? Okay, any product that creates virtual resources from physical resources. So we have a physical server computer. This is physical RAM and physical CPU. Okay, these are physical resources. Any product that you use to convert these physical resources into virtual resources. So here we are utilizing ESXi operating system. We are installing directly on a physical computer and we are creating virtual computers. And we call it as a virtual machine. Out of 100 GB RAM, we are allocating some 4 GB RAM to this machine, to CPU, and C colon 20 GB, whatever, 20 or 50, whatever, it's based on our usage. Okay, like this. So here, ESX operating system is helping us. Our ESX operating system is doing physical resources into virtual resources. The RAM, 4 GB RAM that we have allocated to this is a virtual computer. This is a physical computer. Virtual computer, physical computer. So the physical resources are converted into virtual resources. Virtual computer will have everything virtual. Virtual RAM, virtual CPU, virtual hard disk. These are not physical. These are virtual which are splitted from here. ఇక్కడ నుంచి స్ప్లిట్ చేసి దీనికి అసైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఎవరు స్ప్లిట్ చేస్తున్నారు? Who is doing that job? ESXi. Anybody who does the job, physical resources into virtual resources, they are called hypervisor. Now ESXi is an hypervisor. Understood? Whoever converts the physical resources into virtual resources. It's basically called an hypervisor. And here in our case ESXi and also ESX, but it is already outdated. Okay, so there are examples of from VMware company has 2 options. One is ESX, another one is ESXi. Both are an examples of hypervisor because they are splitting the resources, hardware resources into virtual resources. This 100 GB RAM is physical, CPU is physical, but here 4 GB, 2 CPU, 20 GB hard disk are virtual. If you see, this is a physical server computer. If you go to summary tab, this 48 GB memory is physical, 274 GB hard disk physical, 14 gigahertz processor. These are physical resources. If you go to virtual machine, these are virtual computers which we have created on top of this ESXi. If you see this virtual machine, let's say this machine, Madan. Right click, edit settings. These are all virtual resources. Virtual CPU, 1 CPU, virtual memory, 4 GB memory, virtual hard disk, 15 GB hard disk. These are all virtual. Virtual RAM, virtual CPU, virtual hard disk, virtual NIC card, virtual everything. These are computer hardware. If you just by right clicking on the computer, edit settings, we can see its hardware. If you want to see physical hardware of your laptop or desktop, you know what we have to do. Shut down the laptop, remove the power cables, open the box, and you can see the physical hardware. That takes some 15 to 20 minutes for us to open completely. If you see this virtual computer, just in 2 seconds, we are able to modify its resources also. We can increase or decrease these resources. Let's say this machine is not working, 4 GB RAM is not enough. We can increase it to 8 GB immediately, less than a minute we increased. If it is a physical computer, and we know how much time it will take. Okay, understood? So, lot of advantages we get with this technology, and we are going to learn about them later. So here VMware is a company name who has developed ESX and ESXi, which are examples of an hypervisor. Next biggest competitor for this technology is Microsoft. Microsoft is almost always a copycat, like any product which is very huge hit in the market, they try to create another copy of that product with easy options and less pricing. Okay, so they have developed a product called Hyper-V. They have developed a similar product like ESXi OS. There also physical cell computer, instead of installing ESXi OS, install which one? Which product? Hyper-V. If you install Hyper-V, it will also help us to create virtual computers like this. Same like ESXi, we can create, same like ESXi, how it is helping us to create virtual computers. This Hyper-V also will help us to create virtual computers. Copy product. Okay, but with less pricing, some little easy options and all. But okay, next biggest competitor is Microsoft, and their product name is Hyper-V. This is also doing the same job, converting the physical resources into virtual resources. This is also is an example of hypervisor. Hypervisor is basically a product name, anybody who does that job. Okay, base name. Now, very common interviewers will try to ask you questions like this. What is the difference between hypervisor and Hyper-V? Hyper-V is an example of hypervisor because the names matches up to here. ఇక్కడ Hyper-V అని ఉంది, ఇక్కడ Hyper-V అని ఉంది. అందుకే మిమ్మల్ని కన్ఫ్యూజ్ చేయడానికి హైపర్ స్ట్రెస్ చేస్తారు అలాగా. Hypervisor, Hyper-V. Okay, there is no difference at all. They are not related at all. This is an example of this technology. Understood? Hyper-V is an example of hypervisor. Okay, just to confuse you whether you're really aware of this in-depth technical background or not, so they will ask questions like that. And there are other competitors also. We'll see the table, we will see which product vendor is doing what are their names of the hypervisors and all. Okay, I will list the third one also just for your knowledge. Nutanix, they have AHV. Okay, Oracle has KVM, Citrix has Zen Server. These are the competitors. We will see, like, even though the Microsoft is the second biggest competitor for VMware, but their placement is very huge. Let's say out of 100, 60 people are using VMware product, some 20-25% only are using across worldwide. 20-25% people using Hyper-V. Even though they are second in place, the difference between first and second is very huge. Reason, the product is not that mature, it's not that stable. Frequently there will be issues when people are, whoever is using Hyper-V, when people are using VMware, people seem happy which are using VMware vSphere compared to Hyper-V, because this product is not that stable. There are a lot of bugs still available in this product. Okay, so it's not that stable. So monthly there will be one major impact on this infrastructure who are using Hyper-V compared to VMware. This is very, very stable. Okay, that's why people are happy to run their business on a stable product than buggy product, which is frequently going down. Okay, so it's not like I'm saying that more people are using VMware, less people are using Hyper-V. It's worldwide usage is like that. Okay, fine. Any questions? Just for our knowledge and interview point of view, you should know what is an hypervisor. Clear? Any questions from remote?
Manju, when you said the ESXi is outdated, so you have to use the terminology hypervisor at interview.
ESX is outdated. ESXi is their product, available product from VMware itself. This is
Okay.
outdated and this is available.
Okay.
Both are from same company. Clear?
Sir, hello.
Yes, please.
Still they are developing any advanced technologies like ESXi, like
Who are developing means you are saying any other companies or VMware itself?
VMware.
They have multiple products, but all the product depends on this ESXi operating system only. They have some 15, 20 different products, but everything depends on this ESXi only. Based on this one operating system, they have developed a lot of other products. Okay, we will see that also, like what are the products available based on this virtualization. Okay, now we have to understand the types of hypervisors. Two types, type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor, bare metal hypervisor and hosted hypervisor. Just for our knowledge and even interview point of view, very important.
ESXi నుంచి మీరు వర్చువల్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు. ఆ వర్చువల్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేసేదాన్నే మీరు హైపర్వైజర్ అంటున్నారు. కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తే వర్చువల్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే ఆ ప్రాసెస్ ని మీరు హైపర్వైజర్ అంటున్నారు.
ఎవరైతే ఆ జాబ్ చేస్తారో వాళ్ళని హైపర్వైజర్ అంటారు. ఫిజికల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ని స్ప్లిట్ చేసి వర్చువల్ గా ఇస్తున్నారో ఎవరైతే అలా కన్వర్ట్ చేసి ఇస్తారో వాళ్ళని హైపర్వైజర్ అంటారు.
సో అది మనము చేయాల్సింది.
మనమే ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ ESXi కదా, టెక్నికల్లీ ఇట్స్ ESXi is helping us to split the resources.
ESXi కూడా మనమే చేస్తామా?
అది ఆల్రెడీ డెవలప్డ్ బై VMware. We don't need to develop anything. We are just managing. ఆ ESXi OS ని ఒక ఫిజికల్ సర్వర్లో ఎలా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి, ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఈ వర్చువల్ కంప్యూటర్ని ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటే ఎలా ఫిక్స్ చేయాలి, పవర్ ఆన్ పవర్ ఆఫ్, ఇంకా చాలా టాస్క్లు వస్తాయి. So that's what, like, we don't need to develop something new. We just know how the product is working and we help our customers to create more virtual computers, to power on, power off. Not only that much, like lot of other tasks will come. Already ఉన్న product ని ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేయాలో తెలుసుకుంటే చాలు. Okay, and it is widely used product. That's why they need people like us to manage their product. Okay, so clear? Okay. So type 1 and type 2 hypervisor difference we'll see. So we'll take a physical server in both the examples, and here we install hypervisor directly in type 1, and here on top of that we create virtual machines. It runs with again Windows or Linux, and on top of that business applications will be installed. Okay, so now here if you see, the business application is here. Let's say very simple example we'll take for now, like calculator. Okay, 60 plus 90, we want to execute this instruction. When you want to execute this instruction, this is a physical one calculation. We know that this calculation will be always executed on a physical processor, right? So the calculations will be executed by processor. Processor ఇక్కడ ఉంది overall concept లో physical processor ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది 100 GB RAM, Xeon CPU, whatever it is, 1 terabyte hard disk or 100 GB hard disk, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Physical processor అనేది ఇక్కడ physical server లో ఉంది. When you execute this instruction, that instruction should be executed on the physical processor here. So that means once you send this instruction via this application, it will reach here Windows operating system, then it should cross this layer, ఈ OS layer ని cross చేసుకొని వెళ్ళాలి. Then it reaches hypervisor, it should cross that OS layer, then it can reach physical processor. So that means it has to cross 2 layers and then reach the hardware. It has to cross 2 layers and reach the physical processor to execute. Then same way it has to go back to display the answer. It will go back from the physical. Here the processor executes this instruction 60 plus 90 150. It will hand over back to the hypervisor. So it has to RAM, and RAM will take this instruction from hypervisor to the the Windows operating system and cross and then reach the application. It has to cross 2 layers, execute and go back by crossing the same 2 layers back. Okay, that's how it happens in type 1 hypervisor. Type 2 hypervisor. So type 2 hypervisor cannot speak to hardware directly. It needs some other operating system help here. It cannot execute instructions on the hardware directly. It cannot interact. It needs some other operating system help to send the instructions to the physical server. The same way here also we create virtual computers on this type 2 hypervisor also. Okay, but this hypervisor cannot talk to the hardware directly. Here hardware in the sense it's a iron metal, right? So that's why they named it as bare metal. Directly on the metal, the hypervisor is working directly on the metal. Here the hypervisor execute the instructions directly by processing the instruction to the physical processor. That means it can directly communicate with the hardware, the metal hardware. Here hypervisor cannot talk to the metal hardware. This processor it cannot execute. It needs some other operating system help. It will send the instruction to operating system, either Windows or Linux again. This operating system will speak to the hardware. That's why it's called hosted hypervisor. Need someone else help to talk to the hardware. Hosted by someone else. Understood? And here also if you execute the same instruction here, it has to cross this layer, it has to cross hypervisor layer, it has to cross operating system layer, then it will reach the hardware. 3 layers it has to cross. The instruction has to cross 3 layers and then reach the hardware. Again, if you want to show the result back, same thing. 3 layers it has to cross back. Even though there is a difference between the hypervisors is just a 1 layer. Ikkada 2 layers unnai, ikkada 3 layers unnai. But the performance is variation will be very high. If you compare this performance, If it is completed within a minute, in type 2 hypervisor, it will take 5 minutes to complete. Okay, let's say Amazon website is running here. Flipkart is running here. Okay, and this type 1 and type 2. People are trying to buy from this website. Here people are able to complete their transaction and purchase the whatever the product that I want to buy in a minute. Here it is taking 5 minutes. Okay, which one people will prefer actually? Definitely whichever is very good, okay, reliable, we will buy this one, buy from the respective. So that's where people will, this company will get more business than another company, because they are processing very slow. Once you order this product, just let's say these guys will deliver within 1 day, these guys will take 5 days to deliver. So that's all, the performance will be impacted in such a way based on where their business applications are running. That's why people will prefer type 1 hypervisors to run their business. No one will prefer on type 2. This is just for our personal learning. People like us, when we are learning, when we need more virtual computers to practice, we use type 2 hypervisor. Okay. All the business organizations will use type 1 hypervisor to run their business applications because of this natures, performance variation. Fine. Understood? Type 1 and type 2 hypervisor, just for our knowledge, and also day-to-day job, nothing will be there. Only for interview point of view, it will be helpful. They'll ask questions like this. What is the difference? What are the types of hypervisors and what is their difference? If you can explain them. Yes, please.
Sir, in type 2 hypervisor, we are using like double OS. Actually, hypervisor is the OS.
No, here hypervisor is not exactly OS, it is just a feature here. It's kind of application only. Here in this example, it's application, almost like application only. In Windows,
In type 1,
type 1 is
will
itself an operating system. This itself works like an operating system. It does both job, operating system job and also hypervisor job kind of thing. But here it is not like, it does only the application kind of nature. It needs someone else help to help with the operating system work. Understood?
confusion.
Sorry, I was not able to hear.
Yeah, little confusion is there. Sir.
Okay, e hypervisor type 1 lo e hypervisor almost like OS plus hypervisor laga. ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఫాస్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఫిజికల్ రిసోర్సెస్ మీద ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయడానికి ఓఎస్ లాగా వర్క్ చేస్తుంది, అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇక్కడ ఉన్న ఫిజికల్ రిసోర్స్ ని స్ప్లిట్ చేయడానికి వర్చువల్ హైపర్వైజర్ లాగా. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ ఓఎస్ ప్లస్ హైపర్వైజర్ లాగా వర్క్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ ఈ హైపర్వైజర్ అనేది అప్లికేషన్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. ఓఎస్ జాబ్ చేయలేదు, ఓఎస్ జాబ్ చేయడానికి ఇంకొకరు హెల్ప్ కావాలి. అప్లికేషన్ అంటే మనం ఆల్రెడీ ఓఎస్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి ఒక ఫీచర్ కానీ ఒక అప్లికేషన్ లైక్ విఎల్సి ప్లేయర్ అలా. It's not an operating system, it's just an application. So we'll show you some, if I can.
Excuse me, Durga garu. Sir, which is then called bare metal and hosted? Can you please?
Here itself I have written, right? So type 1 is bare metal, type 2 is hosted hypervisor. So type bare metal until like bare and direct hardware మీద metal, okay, directly on the hardware. The hypervisor works.
Understand that is
the,
understood.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, the physical server which use the OS, is it the bare metal hypervisor or the direct boot?
సో టైప్ 2 అని ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చాను కదా, ఇక్కడ ఎలా ఉంది మేబీ ఇలా ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తాను. Examples are just here. Is that clear now?
Yes, it is clear.
That's why I have just listed here example here. Examples Okay, type 1 hypervisor, we know it's ESX, which is outdated long back, ESXi, and there is a controversy about Hyper-V, but we don't want to enter into controversy. We consider it as type 1. Microsoft says this Hyper-V as a type 1 hypervisor. Okay, because Hyper-V is not a OS, it is a feature inside a Windows OS. Hyper-V is directly we cannot install on a hardware. We need to install Windows Server, then enable feature called Hyper-V. Okay, install Windows OS, then enable Hyper-V feature on it. Then it works like a Hyper-V, like a hypervisor. ఇక్కడ OS separate గా ఉంది, Hyper-V అనే feature separate గా ఉంది. అందుకని చాలా మంది దాన్ని టైప్ 2 అంటారు. కానీ మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే OS also is from my end, Hyper-V is also my feature, and I am using only Hyper-V feature inside that OS. It's not separate. They say it's not separate. That controversy is there. It's fine, whatever it may be. We don't need to worry about it. Let's consider it as a type 1 only. Doesn't matter for us. And type 2 hypervisor, VMware Workstation. Product called VMware Workstation, Oracle VirtualBox are widely used products as a type 2 hypervisor. మీ ల్యాప్టాప్లోనే ఒక 2 లేదా 3 కంప్యూటర్లు కూడా క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ల్యాప్టాప్లో విండోస్ ఓఎస్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి దాని మీద VMware Workstation అని ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి. వర్క్ స్టేషన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత, సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అంటే అప్లికేషన్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత మీద ల్యాప్టాప్లో ఉన్న వాటెవర్ 8 GB లేదా 16 GB ర్యామ్ని స్ప్లిట్ చేసి వర్చువల్ కంప్యూటర్స్గా క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. విండోస్ ఓఎస్ వర్క్ స్టేషన్, here will take. This is your laptop. Install Windows 10. Okay. Install product called Workstation. దాని మీద వర్చువల్ కంప్యూటర్స్ని క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అప్పుడు మీ ఇక్కడ ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3 కంప్యూటర్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఒకటి మీ ల్యాప్టాప్ విత్ విండోస్ సపరేట్గా వాడుకోవచ్చు. ఇది ఒక సపరేట్ ట్యాబ్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. ఇలా ట్యాబ్ లాగా ఇదొక కంప్యూటర్, ఇదొక కంప్యూటర్. ఒక ల్యాప్టాప్ మీదనే మీరు ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3 కంప్యూటర్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ చేయొచ్చు. ఇది టైప్ 2 హైపర్వైజర్. ఒక ఓఎస్ కంపల్సరీగా ఇక్కడ ఉండాలి. ఈ వర్క్ స్టేషన్ అనేది డైరెక్ట్గా హార్డ్వేర్ మీద ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయడానికి లేదు, పాసిబుల్ కాదు. వర్క్ స్టేషన్ ఆర్ వర్చువల్ బాక్స్, ఇట్స్ నాట్ పాసిబుల్. You need some other operating system like Windows 7, Windows 10, like that. Clear? And ESXi. If you take ESXi, you don't need to install any Windows 10 or Windows Server, nothing like that. Directly you can install on a computer, and it will help us to create virtual computers like this. To run business applications, we have to use this type 1 only. Now understood what is type 1 and type 2? I'll see if I have installed Workstation. Not install Workstation. So if it is installed. Laptop. Okay. Process.
64 GB.
అది సరిపోదా? 60? డిపెండ్స్. మన దగ్గర 2 GB ర్యామ్ ఉన్నా కూడా 1 GB AVMకి ఇవ్వచ్చు, 1 GB ల్యాప్టాప్ ఉండొచ్చు. Yes. So హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అది మనం ఎంతైనా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, మన హార్డ్వేర్ మీద ఎంత ఉంటే అంత. It's not here to show you. Yes. It's not installed here to show you how Workstation works. Okay. So that's okay. Any questions?
Sir, are you provide any notes on this class?
Yes, I'll share these screen images and also soft copy, which will have that whatever the theory we are discussing, it will be there again. You can just refresh them by reading those things.
I have Workstation. If you want, you can show them by TeamViewer.
Yes, please. TeamViewer ID only. Chetan?
Yes, 107
Okay.
219
Okay.
846.
Password.
9 small letter DB G 33 YW.
No, wrong. Can you just copy paste in the chat if possible? Can you minimize it?
Yes.
I want a workstation. Just open. Wait. This is an application. Okay, this is an application. So on his laptop, there are like two other computers we have created using a software called Workstation. So on his laptop, he is able to create another computer by using a workstation. To install this workstation, we need a Windows OS, basically install on the laptop. Fine. This e-workstation hardware makes it possible. It's a need system. On top of that, we create a virtual computer. EMD error. Need to check. Sorry. Fine. If no questions, then we will continue tomorrow.